including paid advertising, and then how to manage and review your social media. Okay, Damien has just passed me a little post-it that says the webinar is being recorded. So those of you that are going to be interrupted, hopefully by lots of patience, it's fine. So the webinar will be recorded and we'll send it out tomorrow, so you can watch at your leisure. If we're going too quickly, it's fine because you can pause and take notes. At the end of the webinar, and maybe depending on time throughout the webinar, we will be answering questions. So there is a question box. Please add in questions that you have and we'll answer them when we have time. Also at the end of the webinar, there will be some free resources, how you can get copies of the slides, how you can get access to the Facebook group, how you can claim your CPD points, and we have from Dental for Windows and from my dental marketing some special offers. So reasons to stay tuned, everybody. All right, so questions are out. Please, if there's anything that you don't know that you want to know more about, then just plop it into the Q&A box. And if you want to have more interaction after the fact, we have a closed Facebook group. So it's Dental Marketing Secrets. So go to Facebook, search on Dental Marketing Secrets. The picture will look like the one on the screen. We've actually had a competitor start up another Facebook group. So look for Dental Marketing Secrets and we'll see us there. Okay, so we're going to have some polls throughout to make it a little more interactive. And the first one, where are you from? So Rebecca's going to put up a poll. Wow, like magic.
Yeah.
So everybody, brilliant, log in. Let's see who's going to be the winners today. New South Wales is ahead. Can everybody see this?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Brilliant. Oh, we've got some others. I wonder where others are. Put in the chat where you are, other people, because I'm intrigued. Lots of others.
ACT?
ACT?
Oh,
How did we not put ACT? Oh. Okay.
We still love you, ACT.
We do. Okay. Cool. Okay. Ending the poll. Beautiful. Okay, so New South Wales has won this one. But good to see you all. Thank you very much. Okay. So is that on the screen still?
That's up there.
Okay, can we get rid of that? Because I'm seeing it.
Oh, I still see you.
Oh, sorry guys, this is technology at its best. There we go, I cannot see it. All right, so I'm going to start the way that I always start my webinars and seminars, and also to allow people to still log on, is to talk about dental challenges. So basically, it's never been as competitive out there as it is now. There is increased competition locally and overseas. Corporates, the insurance companies are coming in, and if they're not in your suburb, then I would bet that they are on their way. There is an oversupply of dentists, it's never been as saturated as it is now. Ever rising operating costs for you guys, and your patients are much more marketing savvy, which means that they are much more discerning. So we're going to talk about social media today, but this is just one way that you can market your practice. So problems that I see when I talk to dental practices when it comes to your social media marketing is not knowing what to post, not knowing when to post, not knowing how to get engagement, and if and how you should be using paid advertising. Are the questions that we are going to be answering today. Who am I and why am I here? I'm the Managing Director of My Dental Marketing. I have over 25 years. And those in the marketing and sales, and over 15 in the health and wellness competition. You know, once upon a time, it used to be fine for you to open up your dental practices. Patients really need to understand marketing now in this competitive environment, and that's why I spend my life doing seminars and webinars for lovely people like Dental Windows. And truly, I am sick and tired of guys like you that are wasting time, money, and effort on marketing that is not working for you. And I'm really proud to say that I won the Dental Industry Professional Award last year in recognition of the education training that I carry out. I've also written a book. I know that lots of you have got it, and if you haven't, at the end of the seminar, I can tell you how to get that for a special price. And My Dental Marketing, who are we? We are 10 years of age, established in 2009, working with dental practices all over Australia and New Zealand. As a business, we actually won the Marketing Award and the President's Award, which is the highest award that any dental industry business can get awarded. So we're really proud of that. This is the team. We're obviously too good looking, it doesn't want to show us. Okay, let's see if I can do this. There we go, this is our team. Our photographer is male, so we're not a completely female group. And why do we exist? We exist to help you guys become fully booked, stay ahead of your competition, retain your existing patients, and attract new patients in and get in control of your business. And how can we help a dental practice? Basically, we can help a dental practice wherever you need help. So done for you marketing, everything from your websites, your branding, your social media, email newsletters, patient communication. So everything that you need in a dental practice. We can also help on a consulting side. So if you don't want us to do it, but you need to be told how to do it and what you need to do, we can provide consulting, and then obviously the education through webinars, seminars, through my book, and a membership site that's being launched shortly. Okay, so now you know a little bit about me. I'd love to know about you. So hands up or answer the poll. Who here is a practice manager, practice owner, team members, dental industry, and anybody else? Practice owners are doing well. Cool. Okay. Close the poll. Beautiful. Well done, practice owners. Really interesting to see the numbers that are coming through. So it's really good to see that there's such a spread here, and to see how important it is at all levels and all roles in the dental industry. So that's great. Thank you for that. Okay. So on to social media. So as Damien said, and as Eric has said, we don't have a choice on whether to do social media. The question is how well we do it. So I've talked about the problems, and these are the mistakes that I see. And it would be interesting to see if you are feeling guilty when I talk about these. So a haphazard, inconsistent posts. So, you're posting, but, you don't really know when and where or how or what. Not using a range of posts, just doing the same thing because that's all you can think about at the moment. Generic, nothing that differentiates you, your team, and your practice. Poor quality or scary images, images that are not branded with your logo, and links back to your website. And so I'm going to give examples of different types of posts to give you some ideas. But the biggest problems that I see, truly, and I really need you guys to take notice now, is thinking that thinking that social media is a silver bullet. So many practices think that social media is the answer to all of their marketing problems, and it isn't, guys. This is one way of you being able to market your dental practice, not the answer. In the seminars I use the joke that if it was, if there was one thing that you could do to market your practice, I would have written a pamphlet or a flyer and not a book. Social media is one thing that you can do to market your practice, not the thing, okay? And the other one is people thinking that social media is a free platform. People thinking that they can just log in and they can post and everything will be wonderful and they get a whole ton of new patients. And I hear this a lot. This is not the case. And so the objective of this webinar is to really educate you guys in how this is one thing you can do and how you can use it to the best of your ability, but it is not a free platform and it is not the answer to your marketing woes. It is one thing. So I'm going to go through 7 steps. There's a lot of slides, but again, we're going to record this. You can play it back, you can pause it. So I will go quickly. I don't apologise for that. I just want to get as much information to you in this 1 hour of your lunch. So another quick poll. I want to hear how you feel that you're doing with your marketing, your social media marketing. Who here feels that they're doing really well? Who here feels they're doing okay, but probably could do a little bit better? Who's not happy? And who actually doesn't really know how they're doing? Great, thank you. Great. Okay. And these are the numbers that I see when I do my live seminars as well. Okay. It's a good spread. So thank you for that. Few of you, a couple of you doing really well. Most of you doing okay. Obviously needing to fine tune it. Not happy. Okay. Hopefully we'll give you lots of ideas, and a lot of you not really knowing how you're doing. So again, I will give you lots of ideas, lots of inspiration, hopefully, so you can assess how you are doing. So thank you for that. Okay, I'm going to start by not talking, okay, about social media. I want to talk about your website. And the reason I want to talk about your website is because it is the hub of your marketing wheel, okay? No matter what you do in your marketing, people are always going to be driven back to your website. So if you're there thinking social media is the answer to all of your marketing problems, and you're going to get a whole ton of patients, and truly that your website is a train crash, you're not going to convert patients, okay? Social media is not the answer. Websites and having a good website needs to be your number 1 priority of whatever you do in your marketing, online or offline, okay? It really needs to be the focus, your number 1 priority. Because, think about it. If I were to say to you, I went to this amazing restaurant last night, what's the first thing you will do? You'll Google them, you'll look at their website. So people, when they hear about you, they're going to look at your website. People, if they see you on social media first, they're still going to check out your website. So please make a note. If you feel that your website is not up to scratch, but you're thinking about social media, I really need you to focus on your website, okay? Because it is a competitive environment. Patients are going to look at you online, so please think about your website. Okay, so social media. I'm going to hit you with some stats first, but probably none of these are a surprise at all. So 69% of Australians are on social media. So 69% of Australia, social media. 60% use Facebook. 50% are on Facebook on a daily basis. Okay, so this is the monster. 50% are also using YouTube, and then 30% are on Instagram. Okay, so the numbers are pretty scary, but very interesting. Okay, this one I really like. So did you know that on average, an average Australian spends 1 hour and 39 minutes on social media? That's a lot of time, and this is an average. So if you think of this as an average, there are people that are spending 7, 8, 9 hours on social media. Big numbers. Okay, so if your practice isn't on social media, then maybe it's time to think. I also want to bring you back to basics, and I want you to think about how people research. So, as I said, people are researching online. 81% of people are saying they research online before buying. As I've said, 1, they go to your website. But then you've got to think about why they do this and what they do. So they're going to look at your website. If they like what they see, will then look at your reviews. Okay, if your reviews stack up to your website, they'll be more interested. Then they will look at your social media. So number 1, number 2, number 3. So some people think social media is all about attracting patients and getting them onto social media and getting likes. You need to also be aware that people are just going to be assessing your social media when they first hear about you. So why social? Why social media? Is because people are buying from people. People want to know about the people behind your practice, behind any business. They want to know who you are, what you're doing. They want to know, what you care about, the human side of your practice. And they will assess you if they're evaluating practices, and your existing patients will be reminded that you exist. So a common question is, which social media platform should I be on? Number 1, Facebook. We've seen the stats, okay? So if you are not doing social media, or you're not doing social media well, number 1, Facebook. If you're doing Facebook really well, or if you're a very aesthetically focused practice, then Instagram, okay? YouTube is great if you've got the time, money, and effort to do video, but this is your priority 3. And then pretty much number 4, LinkedIn, if you're a specialist and you are doing 1, 2, and 3 well, and Twitter, I really wouldn't bother. So I'd be really interested to see, and I'm sure you'll be interested in other practices, to see where you are and what social media platforms are on. So click the ones that you are on. Can they click more than one?
Oh, they can only do that.
Okay. So where are you on most? Where are you spending most of your time? Okay.
Just so you're aware, guys, there is a fire alarm test going on at the moment. So if you hear any noises, that's what that is.
Okay. Okay, cool. So 82%, 83% on Facebook. Great. Okay, here we go. Fire alarm time. This proves that we are live here, in case you had no doubt. So I will talk over the fire alarm. Okay. So while the fire alarm is going on beautifully, pop in your questions. Have we got questions coming through, Rebecca, already?
We've only got the one at the moment.
That's okay. We will do it later. But if you do have any questions, please remember to add them. Okay, so one of the common questions we have is what to post. So from a very high level, you need to create content that's shareable. All right, you've got to remember that social media is a visual platform. So whatever you post, think that visual images or visual posts are going to get more likes and shares, okay? So the analogy that I use is, think about social media as a dinner party conversation. And you need to have a range of posts, and you need to have a range of information. So if I was at a dinner party and I just started saying, me, I do this, I do this, I do this, that would be pretty boring. But if you said, this is what I do, and here's a photo of, and here's some of my work, and did you know, here's an interesting fact, and maybe something funny, it's a conversation. It's more interesting than just one channel of conversation. So whatever you would talk about at a dinner party, when it comes to dentistry, talk about it social media. What are people interested in? And then finally, guys, if you're at a dinner party and you are sharing scary images, procedural images, not okay. All right. So I want to show you some examples of posts. I want to give you some inspiration, some ideas about what you could post on your social media platforms. So number 1, post about what makes you different. It's okay. So here's a couple of examples. So the practice on the left uses hot towels. Okay. Practice on the right, they support a charity. So really think about what you do in your practice that makes you different. That I did a seminar last week, and there was a practice in the room that said that she makes homemade birthday cards and sends them out to all of her patients. And it's like, that is different. You should be posting about that. The same practice also makes homemade cookies in December and gives them out to their patients. And again, these are things that make you different. So think about what makes you different, what makes your practice different, what makes your team different, and post it on social media. So think about current events, current promotions. You know, if you're having birthday parties, open days, post about that. Hello, Des. If you're doing promotions, you know, send it out, put it out on your social media channel. So post about what makes you different, post about events, post about promotions. So your team, okay, remember social media is social and people want to know about people. So your team is going to get, truthfully, the most interaction. Now, I put here get a release form. So sometimes when we're posting for practices and we post 5 days a week, every week for our practices, they will come to us after the fact and they will say, you know, the person that you posted about from our team in February has now left the practice. Can you go back and delete the images? Okay, that is not good. Nobody wants to do that. So I do recommend that if you're posting images of your team, that you do get a release form. So a couple of images here. You know, please post. Please get the team on board and get them to have their photos taken, get them to be in front of camera. And I know this is hard, and I know that people find this challenging, and people will maybe not feel so comfortable, but it's really important. The images of your team will get the highest interaction. Your patients want to see your team, and they recognize your team. Likewise, your patients, other patients want to see, okay? They want to see the happy, smiling faces. And again, get a release form. If you can, if you're posting images of your patients, get a release form. So here's a couple of examples. I love this one. The practice where I survived a root canal and get a smile. You know, or this one, before and afters, okay? You know, people want to see that you're seeing real patients. So again, I know this is outside of your comfort zone. What I recommend is, instead of you asking everybody in your early morning huddles, look at the patients that are coming through, see who is friendly, see who loves you, and, you know, say, okay, one a day. Who are you going to ask? One a day. Who will have their photo taken with you and the team? And then get them to post it, or you can post it. Okay. We talked about websites being important. A really common mistake that I see are that there are no links back to your website, okay? Social media, you want them to be there, you want them to ask questions, you want them to interact, but you also want them to do things. You want to send them back to your website. And links on your social media are really important because it affects your ranking in Google. Okay, so some examples of how you can send traffic back to your website. And on our previous webinar, which was all about websites, we talked about the importance of having online booking. So if you've got online booking, and I really, really recommend that you do, guys, make sure that on your social media channels, you're sending traffic back to your online booking page. Payment plans, really important if you have payment plans. If you're offering this as a service, and again, I really recommend that, you send it back, send the traffic back to your website so they can find out more about your payment plans. If you're a preferred provider, same thing, send them back to that page. And again, if you've got information and tips, send that back. All of this makes a difference to your SEO. It means that patients will then find your social media, go back to your website, and hopefully book in. So branded images. Again, if you're posting images, it's really important to get your brand and your logo featured on the feeds, okay? It keeps your brand front of mind. So when we work with dental practice, we will take their professional photography and we will create images for them. And it might be images and statements about what you believe in your practice, or what you're offering as services, okay? But you can do this, you know, the example on the left is using actual team images, photographs that we've taken for the practice. The one on the right uses stock images. If you can, get professional photography, get them mocked up, creating good artwork. It increases your brand. And then videos, so Facebook Live, Videos, really popular on social media. Facebook wants you to use video. It wants people to stay on their channel. It wants people to be watching videos. So if you are posting videos, then you are going to see more interaction. You're going to see more likes because Facebook wants you to do it. So this is an example of a practice that came to one of my webinars, one of my seminars, and then we did some consulting work with them, and they wanted to know how to learn how to use videos. And so what they did is they got a member of the team who felt comfortable in front of the camera, and they wrote a list of questions that they knew their patients cared about and recorded videos. Look at the interactions, look at the shares, look at the comments, and there was pages and pages and pages of comments here. So if you are able to get a team member who is brave enough to stand in front of the camera, I really do recommend it. And then the final one, guys, has to be shown, is the scary post. Social media is social. It is a dinner party. This is an Instagram feed, would you believe? Okay. This is not okay. People do not want to see this, and people will switch off. It's not okay.
Horrendous.
It is horrendous. And I know it's okay for you guys, but this is not what people want to see on the feed. If you're taking images of work, then I'll give you some examples of how you can make these look good. So talking about visuals, Instagram. So, the other posts were mostly for Facebook, but Instagram, if you can get your posts working on Facebook, the next level up is Instagram. Instagram is incredibly, incredibly visual, okay? So your posts need to look beautiful. If you have an aesthetic-based practice, then you should think about Instagram because that's where your ideal patients are. Okay, so here's a couple of examples of practices doing it really well. But their posts are beautiful. They are curated. People spend hours and hours thinking about these posts, making them look absolutely amazing. So Instagram, I'll go back to this, very, very visual. There's ways of being able to present your procedural photos, and this is how you present them, not the procedural images that I've just shown. Okay, so hopefully that has given you some good ideas, some inspiration on what you could post on your social media channels. So a quick poll about how often are you actually posting on your social media channels. So, this is across the board, whether it's Facebook, Instagram. Let's see how often you are. So if you're not even got a profile, let us know, okay? Set up, not often posting, once a month, once a week, once a day, more than once a day, okay? So there's a real widespread here. That's great. Okay, interesting. Everybody, final votes in? Interesting. Okay, so nearly half of you are just posting once a week. Okay, and then a quarter of you are just not posting as often as you like, and a few of you have not even, or 6 of you not even set up. So that's really interesting. Thank you, guys. Okay, so have we got some questions, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so we will pause here and just take a few questions. Do you want to read them, and then I'll think my brain can think? Okay. Do you want to do them, Rebecca?
I'll do it.
Cool.
Okay, so Jodie's actually asked, what is PPC?
Okay, pay-per-click advertising. So we talked about this in our website webinar, and for anybody that has not seen that, I think, Rebecca, you will be sending out. Okay, so you can watch this again. So I go more into pay-per-click. So pay-per-click is when you advertise online. So pay-per-click advertising can be anything from Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads. Those are the most common. So pay-per-click is where you are paying for somebody to click. PPC, pay-per-click. So within that, we do include Facebook advertising, and I will be talking more about that later.
Okay. Des has asked about LinkedIn. Do many people research practices on this? Is it worth doing?
So Des, if you are acing all of the rest of your social media, that is the only time I would really think about LinkedIn. It's a bit new, I would say, for a dental practice to find patients on LinkedIn. If you are a specialist and if your target market are the dentists, then I would seriously consider thinking about setting up your LinkedIn profile and talking about your services there. But to find patients, I wouldn't, Des, no.
Gretchen's asked about promoting our dental practice and APRA. So I'm assuming it's about what the standards are.
Okay, so I will talk about APRA in various guises throughout the webinar. On the website webinar, I talk about advertising there. I might leave that to the end if that's okay, if we've got time, and I can briefly tell you about what I'm seeing with APRA breaches. You know, it's a whole probably conversation. So with your permission, I will cover APRA throughout, and then if there's time, I'll go deeper into APRA. And in fact, Gretchen, if you are on the Facebook group, so Dental Marketing Secrets Facebook group, post the question there and I will record a video for you and for everybody else, which goes a lot deeper if we haven't got time. So if you post it, Gretchen, that would be great.
I think Brock's question also ties in with APRA as well as some standards. So just strict guidelines around medical and dental adverts. So Brock, shall we cover this?
Okay, we will do that later. Okay.
Yeah.
Any of those?
Good questions here from Audrey. Audrey said, would you have examples of release forms?
Yep, absolutely. So if you, who was that, Audrey?
Yes.
Audrey, if you log into the Facebook group and say release form, then we can get that sent to you. In fact, I'll pop it on the Facebook group and I'll just upload the PDF and then everybody can access it. So good question. Thank you for that.
And last question for now, Lydia, from Lydia, how much posting is too much?
It's too much. Okay, I'm going to talk about too much posting. I'm going to put these ones here. I'll talk about that afterwards. Okay, so thank you for those. Keep your questions coming. All right, so we've given you some ideas of what to post. All right. What I really, really, really recommend is that you think about your posts in advance, okay? Because nobody truly can sit there every day of the week and think, oh my goodness, I've got to think about something, you know, great and inspirational, or I've got to create an image and post it. Nobody will do it, okay? Ever. It's impossible. The only way that you are ever going to succeed with posts is by planning. So what I recommend is you sit down at the beginning of the month and you say, okay, it's August. What have we got of note in this month? And we have all been gifted the beautiful gift of Dental Health Week this month. So you can say, okay, these dates, we've got Dental Health Week. So what are we going to post here? You know, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, Christmas Day, end of financial year, you know, mark it all on your calendar. And then decide what you're going to post and when you're going to post it. So you might set yourself as a goal and you might say, I'm going to post once a week because that's all I can manage. Or you might say, I'm going to post 3 times a week or 5 times a week. So when we work with our dental practices, we post 5 days a week. We have everything planned out, everything created, everything approved in advance. This is what you need to decide. When you've decided how many days, then say, okay, if I'm going to do it 3 days a week, Mondays, what will I post on Monday? And Monday might be the teams of your the photos of your team. Wednesday might be informative facts on oral healthcare, and Friday might be links back to the website. Okay, but every Monday you do the same style of post. Every Wednesday the same style. Every Friday, which means that if you're working a month in advance, all you have to do is think of 4 posts for each categories. So it's really, really important that you sit down and you plan and you have a formula. Once you've got these posts, once you've got them created, once you've got the schedule, you can schedule them. So you don't have to think, oh my goodness, it's Monday, I need to post now. So what you can do is you can use tools and you can upload the posts in advance. And this is exactly what we do with the practices that we work with. We schedule those posts in advance. So there's a few examples of tools that you can schedule your posts with. But the easiest one, truthfully, is the native tool. So on Facebook, you can just literally go in, you can log in, and you can post those, post the posts and schedule them. And again, if you want examples of this, I've got some videos showing you how to do it. So go to the Facebook group, ask the question, and I can share those videos. Now, we've got such a small amount of time in the webinar today. I'm just trying to blast you with thoughts, blast you with ideas, but I can send you more information if you need it. So keep the questions coming, and we will take more questions. So responding to comments, one of the common complaints, I guess, or one of the common fears is that people say, well, if I start on social media, then people are going to write on social media, and what do I do? You know, the reality is you need to reply to all comments, okay, and all reviews. And I'm going to talk about APRA guidelines, guys. So you need to reply. So the dinner party analogy. So if I said to Christina, you know, that's a really great shirt at a dinner party, I'm assuming Christina will say thanks. So if somebody is saying something nice to you on social media, please say thank you. If they ask you a question, please reply, okay? Common courtesy. You know, the conversation is moved online. It is a conversation, so please reply. Okay, and if you do have negative reviews, and I know that I'm sure there are many of you sitting there saying, but what if somebody says something horrible about me? What if somebody says something terrible in a review or a comment? Then you need to reply as if the whole world is reading this, okay? So do not reply to that person, reply to the whole world and show them the best side of you. You know, be humble, be polite, say, you know, we're really sorry that you had that situation, and get the conversation offline, okay? Say, we're really sorry, you know, this is not what we would want you to have an experience of. You know, say we pride ourselves being friendly or happy or welcoming or delivering the best service, whatever you want to be known for, and then say, please call the practice, or please call into the practice. Get the conversation offline. Now, APRA guidelines. You cannot have control, or anything that you have control of when it comes to reviews, you shouldn't have on. So you shouldn't have switched on. So this means that your Facebook reviews should be switched off when it comes to APRA guidelines. So I'm going to repeat that. If you are on Facebook, if you have Facebook reviews switched on, it is in breach of APRA advertising guidelines. So APRA is actively looking at practices marketing at the moment, and we are seeing lots of practices getting a letter. So if you do have Facebook reviews switched on, then you may get a letter from APRA telling you to switch it off. It's a 2-minute job. It's pretty easy. So my recommendation is, you know, listen to APRA guidelines and make sure you know them. Again, I can talk forever on APRA. Okay. So keep the questions coming. I now want to talk about increasing interactions. Okay, so I said at the very beginning that lots of people think that social media is a free advertising platform, and by putting things on social media, you're going to get a whole ton of interactions and a whole ton of patients. It's not the case. In fact, it's so not the case that the algorithm that Facebook has been changed to means that about 1% of your posts will get seen, okay? Or 1% of your likers will see your post. So that is such a low, low, low figure, So if you are posting, and we've talked about great posts, but you think that the whole world will see them for free, you are unfortunately going to be disappointed. So I want to talk about reach and how you get those likers and how you get more people interacting with your all-important posts. So number one is great posts more often. So the question was how much posting is too often? This is an example of a practice that we took over the social media posting. So they would post occasionally when there was something exciting that happened, somebody's birthday or somebody had a baby, and you can see that there are the spikes, the occasional spikes. When they posted, they'd get a spike. We then took over the posting for this practice, and we post 5 days a week. So therefore, the more people, or the more posts that you post, the more people will see it, organic reach, which means the more interaction, okay? You have to be on social media to post. You have to be on social media for people to see it. You have to be on social media for people to follow you. So the more posts that you can create, the better. So how many posts is too much? If you can do one a day, then that would be absolutely amazing. The stats on Instagram to get the reach. So it's not really a question of how much is too much. The problem that we see with practices is they just can't post enough. So I hope that answers your question, Linda. Okay, so number one, great content and more often. Number two, okay, let's think about your team. You want people to interact with your posts. And the way that that Facebook works is if there are people interacting with your post, it's going to think that this is a great post. So you have got a whole team on your side. And I'm guessing, given the stats, that your team is spending time I really, really, really recommend that you ask your team to get involved with your posts and to interact with the posts that your practice is putting out there. So the first step, and I don't know whether you are aware of this, there is a way of being able to follow first on Facebook. Again, if you want to see a video on how to do this, I can record a group. But you go to your team and you say, look, it's really important. We need more interaction. I need you to follow us first, which means when they log into Facebook, they will see the practice post first. When they see them, please ask them to react, to like, love, wow, react to them, because every time somebody reacts to your post, Facebook will think this is a good post. More people will see it, okay? If they're really lovely members of the team, ask them if they could comment, okay? Or even just put a little emoji in there, because again, it makes a difference to the algorithm. And then the final one, if your team members are awesome and amazing, get them to share the posts in their community and with their friends. So this is, one way of trying to hack the system, I guess. Organic reach is 1%. You need to get more reach, and by more interactions, more comments, you will get more people seeing your posts. But the reality is that paid advertising is the way that you can get that. Facebook is a paid advertising platform. More comments, more questions. I might pause here, take some more before I deep dive into paid advertising, because I can see all of the post-its stacking up.
From OHS Dental, is Instagram promotion worth the cost?
Perfect timing. I'm going to talk about advertising then, so I will answer that one.
Is there a popular time day to post from Victor?
Yes, there are, Victor. I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but I do believe that Thursday at 3 p.m. is the prime time for Facebook. don't have the stats in my brain for Instagram, but again, if you ask that question on the Facebook group, I will find those stats and I will share it. Okay, but the reality is, with all marketing, it's trial and error. It's not so much really is when you post; it really is what you post. So, my recommendation for you is to focus on the quality of your posts and don't worry too much about getting the time right. That's kind of the next level up.
Sarah asks, how do you add links to an Instagram post?
Alas, you can't really. You can put it in the comments, but you can't. The only way that you can really link in Instagram is in the profile. So you can put one link in. There are tools that can link from one link to multiple links from your profile, but really it's pretty much one link from Instagram, I'm afraid, guys. Unless you're obviously boosting and promoting, and then you can put the links in.
Ray asks, how do you measure ROI on organic searches, on organic search results as opposed to pay-per-click?
Okay. Ooh, let me think about that. Return on investment for organic search. All right, so I guess this, for Ray, return on investment when it comes to your social media is about setting up the goals. So if you think about setting goals, and return on investment might be, the goal is we want to have a certain number of likers, and you are willing to invest to get that number. That is one way of measuring it. The real way that you can do ROI is pretty much when you're doing campaigns and doing advertising. So organic, if you are, I guess I'm going to spin this around. If you are thinking about ROI, and if you are talking about campaigns, which is the easiest way for doing ROI, I do recommend that you advertise, that you do boost it, and then it's much easier to tie it back, because then you can have a one-to-one correlation. I mean, we were talking earlier that I did some paid advertising to advertise the webinar, and again, we were looking at the stats before we came online, and we were able to see how many people clicked. So it's much easier if you're doing the paid advertising, because you get the stats at a much bigger or deeper level. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah. I'm going to tie in two questions together because they both talk about reviews. Nor says, do you have to turn off Google reviews, and how to turn off reviews on Facebook page?
Yep. Okay, so Google reviews. So just repeating APRA guidelines, anything that is in your control, you have to turn off, okay? Facebook reviews are in your control, you have to turn them off. Google reviews are not in your control, so you cannot turn them off. So Google reviews are there to stay, guys. Google is never going to turn off or turn on the ability to turn off the reviews. So Google reviews you cannot turn off, so they are there. Facebook reviews you can, so you should.
Yeah.
And then I'll take one more question because
Yes.
I want to zoom on.
Yes, these three questions from Stacey, Lydia and Xenia kind of tie in with each other. What is great content? Where do you find info to post? And do you recommend personal posts about people who work at the surgery as well as certain patients?
Okay, so great content. Hopefully I've given you some ideas. Where do you find info to post? Okay, so when we work with our dental practices, we are scouring the web constantly. We have a team looking for information to post. We're looking for good news articles. We're looking for oral health stats. So we have a team literally that scours the web looking for this information that we can then create into images, create into posts. It's not easy, I'm afraid. And do you recommend doing personal posts about people working in your surgery? Absolutely. Your team is key. So yes, please post about your team once a week if you can. Okay, going to talk about paid advertising. So just repeating, 1% is where you're going to get organic reach. So your post will be seen typically by 1% of your likers. So that is so drastically low. So the reality is, if you want to increase that reach, the only guaranteed way is to pay Facebook, okay? They own your audience. The great thing about Facebook and Instagram ads, okay, so it was OHS. So I don't know whether you're aware that Facebook owns Instagram. So one and the same. You can advertise on Instagram and Facebook. So what I talk about here is the same. So is it worth the cost? In answer to your question, absolutely worth the cost if you're doing it well. So it is a much lower cost than Google Ads. It's really good for promotions, and it has the most outstanding targeting capabilities, and I will talk about that. But what you need to remember is whatever you are paying to be boosted or promoted, it needs to be really strong. Okay, people are not on social media looking for a dental practice. Okay, and I'm going to repeat that. People are not on social media looking for a dental practice. If they're looking for a dental practice, they're going to be on Google, and that's where Google ads come in. Okay, so if you're hoping to pick up new patients from social media, whatever it is that you post needs to be really, really strong. It needs to be strong enough to stop them scrolling through and for them to go, wow, you know, I'm going to engage in that post. So really important. Want to do a quick poll to actually see how many of you guys are using paid advertising on social media. Now, whether you're boosting occasionally, boosting frequently, whether you're doing the paid advertising, and I will go into these so you know what I'm talking about, but just so we've got an understanding of where you guys are. Okay. It's really interesting. Okay. So pretty much 2/3 of you are using paid advertising in some way. Okay, do you want to close the poll? Beautiful. Really interesting. And what an interesting spread as well with the practices that are boosting and paying. Okay. That is truthfully higher than I would expect. So maybe we have some pretty good practices that are really on top of their social media already on the webinar today. So that's great. For those of you, and the majority of you, that are not using paid advertising, I will go through now and explain the different types. Again, this is high level. We've got limited time, but I just want you to understand the differences. So boosting and paid advertising. There are two types of ways for you to advertise through Facebook. So a boost is where you just take an existing post and you're sending it to a wider audience. Okay, this is very easy to do. Okay, it's good for brand recognition. It's good for getting more likes to your boost. So it's straightforward, very easy, simple to set up, and very strong targeting capabilities. Okay, and how does it look? It looks like this, that whatever you post on your social media platform, you will see that little blue box. You click on boost a post, and then it will send you through various screens to basically take your money and to advertise to a wider audience. If you are starting out on this, I recommend that you look at boosting, not at Facebook ads. Facebook ads is incredibly powerful. So where Facebook boosts a post that you've put on your social media channel, Facebook ads is where you can hide specific campaigns. So imagine that you wanted to target a specific demographic with a specific promotion. This is where you hide it. So an example that I always use is teeth whitening for people that have got engaged in their profile or in their demographic, and you can use Facebook ads to go in and really set up a very targeted campaign. Okay. However, this is really powerful and also very, very complex. So it was interesting to see that quite a few of you guys are already playing with Facebook ads. My recommendation is, truthfully, use an expert. If you're thinking about Facebook ads, then you need to have a really strong campaign or you're going to waste a lot of money. And the back end on how to do this is eye-wateringly complex. Okay, so what does it look like? You know, it looks, you've got these hidden promotions to a hidden demographic, very, very powerful, but you need an expert to set it up. So unless you are an expert and unless you are really, really acing boosting, I wouldn't go there. So I want to show you really quickly how incredible the targeting is in Facebook. So I have conflicting views on this, because as a marketeer, I go, my God, this is just amazing. But as a human being, I go, oh my God, this is just the scariest thing on the planet. So this may scare you, but you can, you know, not surprisingly, you can pick the gender and the age of the people you want to target, and you can target the location. So that's great. And you can pick, you know, the radius around your dental practice, 10 Ks, perfect. You can then go deeper. And this is where life gets really interesting. You can pick their marital status. So, you know, who's engaged, who's divorced, okay, who's in an open relationship. You can target it. If you're targeting children, you can pick the age of the children. So you can target, again, you know, this is the targeted campaigns. You can say, okay, I want to do math guards, and I'm going to target these, or I'm going to do ortho, and I want to target parents of children with these age. This is the good one. It gets better. Income. They know your income, so you can pick the income of the people you're trying to target. The net worth. Scary. You know, they know your net worth, and better than that, they even know the value of your property. Okay, setting is insane, you know, and the list goes on and on and on. So Facebook ads are incredibly powerful, and Instagram ads incredibly powerful, but you need to know what you're doing and you need to really think about it. Okay, so Facebook advertising, Facebook is no longer a free platform. You do need to post good content, and you need to boost that content if you do want interaction. So think about planning what you're going to post, what services, when you're going to post them, who you're going to target, and then whether you're going to use boosts, whether you're going to use ads, or whether you're just going to leave it to organic. So the final step is, obviously you're doing all of this and you're posting and you're boosting, you need to assess this. So you need to think about your goals. I can't remember who it was, Ray. You need to think about your goals, and you need to have something in place. All right, what you're trying to achieve. Then you need to see, you know, what's working well, great. What isn't working, you know, look at it, modify it. And then always evaluate what you're saying, what you're putting out there. So we have zoomed through 7 steps. I know there's been a lot, but hopefully you've got some more ideas, more inspiration, and more understanding. Take your social media slowly, okay? Do not expect that you are going to get thousands of followers and thousands of interactions and thousands of patients overnight. This stuff takes time. Make somebody in your practice responsible for this, okay? You need to set the targets. You need to say, we're going to post 1, 3, 5 times a week, and make sure somebody's responsible for creating those posts, for scheduling those posts, and thinking those up, okay? Make sure you do great content. Make sure you're doing it consistently. You know, think about those interactions, get your team involved, consider paid advertising, and track your results and know your APRA guidelines, okay? So thank you for the very quick whistle-stop tour of social media. This is the second webinar with My Dental Marketing and Dental for Windows. The next one is in October, and it's on recalls. So if you register for any future webinars, you get everything recorded. So 15th of October is the next one. Questions, I can add more information to the Dental Marketing Secrets Facebook group. You will be asked why you want to join the group, and all you have to do is put webinar or Dental for Windows webinar, and we'll give you access. So very briefly, just to recap who we are and how we can help you in any forms of marketing. So not just your social media, your website, your branding, your ongoing patient communication, pay-per-click advertising, anything that you need. If you want advice on what you could or should be doing with your marketing, we can help you on the consulting side. And obviously with the guys from Dental for Windows, we're rolling out webinars and seminars. If you did want a copy of my book, you can go to the website, my dental marketing website, and go to the shop and put in the coupon code D for W, and that gives you a discounted copy of my book. If you are sitting there thinking social media sounds awesome, but truly shoot me, I just can't do it. You are struggling with finding the time, finding a team, knowing what to post, or getting that inspiration. We can post on your behalf. So My Dental Marketing can post 5 days a week on your behalf. We create the artwork, we do the links back to your website, we find those articles, we post everything for you, we prepare everything in advance, you approve everything in advance, and then you get the analytics in a dashboard. So it means that there's minimal time and minimal effort for you guys, and that we do the hard work for you. And this is Greg, who we've been doing his social media for a long time, and for him, it's a huge weight off his mind. He knew that he needed to post on social media, but couldn't find the time and effort to do it. So Greg is a happy camper. Pricing is $599 setup and $349 a month, and we are waiving that setup fee if you do want us to take over your social media posting. So let us know. There will be a poll if you do want information. We do partner with Dental for Windows to deliver quick start websites. These are beautifully created websites designed to attract new patients into your practice. They are modified to your brand with your own photos, with your own colours. They're responsive and they're integrated with the products that I was talking about earlier with Dental for Windows. Pre-written content, SEO, basically everything that you need to have a great, effective dental practice website in 2 weeks. And again, we are offering 1 month free if you want to go ahead with that. Now, I know that Christina has got some other offers on the Dental for Windows products, so I will hand over to her.
Thank you, Carolyn. So we want to obviously help you out and make sure that the efforts that you're putting into your social media do in the end bring you patients. And what solutions we can offer is definitely to enhance your website. Once you've driven your patients to your website, how can we enhance your website now? These few solutions that I'm going to talk about today are definitely things that you can integrate on your website, on your Quick Start website even. And first one is online forms, e-forms. Online integrated, which means that you can share your form, share it on your website, share it through automatic reminders to get your patients to fill in, creates convenience and completes that patient experience therefore for them. Good for new patient questionnaires, medical history, patient consent, you name it. And new feature, treatment plans. So we've got, yes, that was just recently released. Based on your support and your backing of that feature, we brought it to you. So treatment plans, guys, if you haven't looked into it or if you want to have that sorted, you can get that with eForms. We also have online bookings. So your patients are already online. They're already flicking through their Facebook page. They want to stay online. So why don't you help them and convenience your patients by having your online booking system on your website? You can promote online bookings on your Facebook page because it's simply a link as well. You simply share that link to say book now with us, and that will then lead them to your online booking system integrated with your Dental for Windows software. So it means that you guys can cut out that task of having to sit there, answer a phone, take their details. They will do that automatically for themselves. Website compatible, mobile friendly, and we've got a new layout that really makes it very intuitive for your patients to book that appointment and keep it.
That's great.
Yes, and the last one is national dental plan. So I do believe that if you are offering a payment plan to your patients, why not promote that on your social media? Integrated with Dental for Windows, you have national dental plan. This is quite special because no interest ever, 94% acceptance rate, loans from $1 to $12,000, and powered by Hum, whom you might know have already established a relationship with a lot of retailers you know of, and currently no setup costs. So if you'd like to start introducing that to your patients and driving that on your website, let us know and we'll help you there. And the offers for you guys today is, if you choose to sign up to eForms e-appointments, 6-month subscription, we're going to give you 1 month for free to help you on your way to enhancing, your efforts online.
That's great.
Yeah. So yes, if you want more information on any of the things Carolyn and I have spoken about, there will be a poll coming up soon. Lydia, hello Lydia. Thanks for the little message. Lydia, yes. Let me know what you're interested in. We'll follow up very promptly here. We'd be happy to also make sure that if you'd like a CPD certificate, you can submit that there as well in the poll. And
if you do want more information, if you just click on the poll, then we can arrange for the right people to come and talk to you.
Yeah. Yes, so I think, shall we open up one more opportunity for questions?
So while people are doing that, then I can answer some more questions.
Yes, so I think these three from Carly and Sarah, these actually tie in because it's talking about restrictions mainly. How do you do successful Facebook ads with all the rules and restrictions that apply? They don't allow much.
Okay. So the biggest one there on promotions, or the biggest breaches that I see, is time-limited offers. So you cannot have a time-limited offer with your promotion. So you can't say August special. That's in breach. So number one. The second breach that I see is no terms and conditions. So you need to have very clear terms and conditions on any offer, on any service. So that is the two most common breaches that I see.
Yeah. And Sarah, are there any problems with targeting posts and APRA?
No, there aren't. As long as, again, time-limited offers and you have very clear terms and conditions, and no, not yet, guys.
And Des asks, how often should we boost posts on Facebook? We post on Instagram every day. Okay,
so how often should you boost posts? My recommendation, Des, is set yourself a budget and boost the post that you want to be seen. I know that sounds ridiculous and obvious, but if you are pushing something new, so like say hypothetically, Des, that you've got a brand new service, because I know you do, and I know that you posted on it today, that I think new things that are happening in your practice that you really want to push out there, those are the types that I would boost. Events, I would boost those as well. So things that you know are going to attract interest, that are really strong posts, those are the ones that I would focus. How often? I think it's more down to a budget, Des. I wouldn't be boosting every day. I'd maybe think, maybe once or twice a week if you're really posting really good, strong content. Hope that answers.
Yeah.
Have we got any more?
Any more questions?
And the poll. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for all of your interactions there. We will make sure that people, that you are contacted from the relevant people.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
And I'd just like to thank Carolyn for hosting our bi-monthly Lunch and Learn webinar, and look forward to her hosting the next one in October. I'd also like to tell you that we're doing our roadshows, which have been very successful over the last 2 years, and they'll be coming to a capital city near you in October, November, and Carolyn will be one of the main speakers. So not only will you see her on the webinars, but you will be able to see her live at our patient experience roadshows, like I say, coming up in October, November, and we'll be emailing you more details on those. as the details are worked out and the specific dates. So thank you ever so much for your time. I know you've given up your lunchtime, and really appreciate that, and hope you've had a lot of information that you can actually utilise in your practice to drive your practice growth, which is what Dental Windows and Centaur is all about.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
This is where we have to work